Hello, I'm Gloria Starr, International Image, Etiquette, Communication, and Leadership Coach. When I started my business more than 2 decades ago, I had knowledge, no experience. I was very shy, and I didn't have a clue how to get a client. This is a problem that I have solutions for. As you start your business, you may be in exactly the same position. Knowledge, but don't know how to attract magnetically clients to you to allow you to grow your business so you will be famous and wealthy and provide great value for your clients. So here are a few ways that work. First of all, you want to get a great website and then create a media frenzy. When the press writes about you, they are seeing you as a person of value that brings great knowledge to others. So when someone writes about you, whether it's newspaper or you do a radio interview or a television show, all of those things will position you as the expert because you do want name, face recognition. You will also want to do some audio teleseminars. So a teleseminar means basically a phone call that is recorded, and you can turn it into an audio CD or a podcast and get your word out in that way as well. And this is a way to create products that will further position you as the expert of choice. Now, when you first start, you might think, well, what have I got to say? When I started creating audios, I found it very easy if I typed out what I wanted to focus on for that webinar of about 45 minutes. And then I printed it out in large font, and basically I read from my script and then added ideas as I went. That made it much easier to stay focused, have a systematic order to the knowledge and material that I was sharing with them. It's also a very strong way to position yourself as the professional of choice. Now, video, which is what we're doing today, is hugely popular and I would say essential. It's very easy to just get a small, inexpensive camera or even your cell phone and take some video shoots of between 2 and 3 or 4 minutes in duration, all on a subject that is focused and vital for your potential clients to have. Now, if you are shy and not comfortable in front of the camera yet, you can do a webinar. And this basically is a PowerPoint presentation that you create in PowerPoint. And then you're going to do a recording with a headphone set and record it in perhaps one of the great program sets out there, such as GoToWebinar, and that's approximately $100 a month to have the GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar account. But I found that again was great value for such a small amount of investment for a great rate of return. So videos and webinars are essential. I have quite a few videos on my website, and just 1 year ago, I started my YouTube videos, and I now have almost 200 video clips that are promotional and educational, featuring me as the expert of choice. And those videos have generated more than 450,000 views in just 1 year. So I believe it's a marvelous way to position yourself. And YouTube basically is free. You need a camera, you need a little chutzpah, and you need to get up there and practice. And my first few videos were not that good. However, within about 20 videos, I became really aware of what worked. And this is one of those things that is essential. So a very small camera, very affordable, usually under $150, and a tripod. A tripod is very essential to being able to have great stillness and clarity. So that's a good choice for you as well. Now, prior to the internet, I taught night school classes, continuing education at the local colleges and high schools that when I lived in Canada. And these classes would be usually 7 till 9 in the evening or 7 till 10, and they might have 15, 20, 25, 30 adults, and they would get an education from me on different things such as image, etiquette, communication, and even leadership. The knowledge that they received was powerful, and it built me in their minds as the expert of choice. So I would be able to position myself and have people know me, like me, and trust me, and then move into hiring me. So everyone, pretty much everyone in today's society works somewhere. So every adult that's going to be in one of your evening classes will be working somewhere, and they are delighted to refer you to their human resource department for speaking engagements or their mid to senior corporate managers, which would be very happy having you for an in-house speaker and educate their people. So teaching classes is very important. Now, you want to also position yourself as a professional speaker. And yes, that's a stretch. When I was starting this business, I was so shy, I could barely look at someone, let alone speak to them. And when I went out to networking meetings, I would do almost anything not to have to go. However, I had to go. It was a great way to build the business. So I put on something flamboyant, a bright color, lots of jewelry and accessories. And I came in with an attitude and a fancy hat. So prior to leaving home, I might have a sip of wine or a sip of champagne, put on a fancy hat, and become an ambassador for myself, my company, and my country. And instead of me having to go out to others and chit-chat and strike up a conversation, people gravitated towards me because I looked intriguing, and they loved those hats. Hat is worth at least 35 compliments a day. So, you will also want to do some work within corporations. You need to make yourself available and position yourself effectively for speaking at a breakout session or a concurrent session or even a keynote address. Now, what do those terms mean? First of all, you would be speaking at a convention, a conference, or an association meeting with people from many companies or many countries. And a keynote means that you are the most important speaker on the agenda, and you have the honor, the privilege of speaking in front of the entire group. So that could be 3,000 or 10,000, depending on the conference. So yes, it's a little stressful, but you need to remember that you are worthy or you would not have been chosen. You will, of course, go prepared, and you can generate a huge amount of money. For a new, moderately new speaker, a keynote of 60 to 90 minutes could be a paycheck of $5,000. However, as an accomplished professional, it's quite common to get $10,000 to $20,000 for a 60 to 90 minute keynote address at a conference. Now, when we talk about a breakout or a concurrent, basically they're similar, and at a big conference, the attendees are usually given different opportunities to attend different things that they might really be interested in. So a breakout or a concurrent would have just a small group of maybe 50 to 150 people, and those people have specifically chosen you. One of the things I remember from speaking at an accountant management conference, the buzz after the speech was great, and two ladies that did not even attend my event heard from some of the attendees that did, and they picked up the phone and booked me, and I had an opportunity to fly to Montreal to do a speaking engagement for a very large corporation for very big paychecks. So it's keynote, it's breakout, it's concurrent. And you will also consider in-house training. So when a company finds your website, you want these kind of words on your website so people realize, oh, she speaks at retreats. Oh, she's an in-house speaker. Oh, she can speak to our sales team or our managers and executives. So an in-house training session is usually half a day or a full day, and depending on the prestige that you have as a speaker and your notoriety plus the size of the company will determine your fees. Now, I also want you to consider hosting your own events. And what this means is I have on my website event calendar, and it lists all the things that I'm doing. Now, I love to travel, and if you know me at all, you know I'm always wearing hats and I'm always happy with a plane ticket in my hand. So I pick and select cities and countries that I would like to experience the culture, the people, and the food. And I put it on my website that I'm going to be there with the dates and a payment link so that they can actually register and click. And I have people registering and clicking for my events all over the world. So these are just some of the ways that you need to position yourself as the expert of choice. You've got to get some experience. So start with some of the small things and build your confidence. Remember that the worst video or webinar or seminar you will ever do is the very first one. And I remember sitting in the car crying after my first all-day seminar. I thought I was terrible. And by comparison to now, I must have been. However, within 5 days, clients that were in my seminar started calling and booking private coaching sessions with me. So I got over it. I decided I must have been better than I had thought, and I did not quit. So you need to become visible, credible, and then that leads to profitability. I'm Gloria Starr, the International Business Coach of Choice.